It's Ron Reader digs the universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe. And tonight, Lefty Cowboys and the conservative reverse herd effect. An old buddy of mine, a lefty like me, lives and works among the white bourgeois. He's been trying to talk politics with them because, you know, it's an historic moment and all that. But he tells me it is incredibly frustrating. He tells me he has been made to feel bad. My buddy is feeling the pressure of the right-wing herd, and I am very sympathetic to that. I remember years ago, back in the summer of 1985, at a Southern Baptist youth camp, We Are the World was in the top 10, and everybody was singing along, but not at camp. We were being told, sometimes angrily, that we are not the world. We are Christians, which makes the song somehow satanic. I didn't really follow the reasoning how a charity project could be satanic, but a lot of the youth ministers there were really into the idea. Some years after that, flash forward about 15 years, right before 9/11, I was talking to my dad, and the chat turned to Middle Eastern politics, and my father very seriously looked at me and said, "So Ron, do you think these are the end times?" I'm happy to report that I was honestly able to tell him no, but as with We Are the World, I didn't really push back on the absurdity of the idea. I mean, after all, this was my dad I was talking to. I remember some years after that, when Obama was in office, chatting with a former colleague of mine, and she was telling me that she thinks Obama is a Muslim. I told her that he's been spotted in Christian churches repeatedly, that he has professed to be a Christian repeatedly, but no dice. Obama is a Muslim. I back down. Pushing it would have been perceived as rudeness. Flash forward to today, the Trump era, the pandemic era, and it's even worse than it has been for the last 20 or 30 years. What can you say to these people? You can't have a normal two-way conversation with them. You can't speak the truth because it somehow violates their ideas about social decorum. It seems like a lost cause. I mean, if you are even thinking of voting for Trump right now, even now after everything, I don't know how to talk you out of it. I feel like I should just wipe the dust from my sandals and move on to the next town because these people are just freaking delusional. But what if you find yourself trapped inside the bubble? What if you're trapped inside in the middle of a vast conservative herd and this herd is trampling you like with my buddy? Here's how I see the problem. Conservatives don't do critical analysis. And that's what it would take to have any hope at all of reversing heavy conservative indoctrination. Quick aside on this. Conservatives have bitched and moaned for years about how the liberal universities discriminate against right-wing views, but the truth is much simpler. Right-wing views collapse under good critical analysis. So it's not that the liberal universities discriminate, but rather that conservatives are full of shit. But I digress. The point is that it would take an extended critical deconstruction of conservatism in order to debunk it for the true believers. And like any self-respecting conservative is going to sit still for that. Your only option here, if you are being trampled and pressured by the conservative herd, your only option, as I see it, is something of a Hail Mary. You gotta be part of a reverse herd effect. They won't consider anything you say. But if they start to get the sense that everyone rejects their ideas, they might ultimately reconsider. Make them feel like the herd is changing direction. Now, I know that this is a long shot. It's not a satisfying solution, but I don't see any other way. Conservatives are a herd. We must all be cowboys now. And you become a cowboy, you wrestle those little doggies like this. Keeping it simple. Sticking to the truth. And never backing down, regardless of how rude the herd thinks you're being. If we all do this, if we all become Lefty Cowboys, whether we're in the herd or out of the herd, maybe it's not such a long shot. Maybe we can reverse the herd. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Yeehaw! I'm a cowboy for love!